As the anticipation builds, Thorpe Park Resort is on the brink of a thrilling new era. The resort is moving closer than ever to securing a long-desired addition, permanent hotel that promises to redefine the guest experience. After years of speculation, the reality of an on-site hotel is drawing near, offering an entirely new way to experience the park's pulse-pounding attractions and seasonal events. But that's not all. In a bold move, plans are also now underway to redevelop the area once occupied by the beloved Amity Beach, which closed its doors last season, transforming it into an exciting new space that will breathe fresh life into this iconic corner of the park. Today, we're going to look at both new potential additions going forward in the future of the resort and what they could mean for the long-term infrastructure of the park. So before we get started with this news update from Thorpe Park on two major long-term projects, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I'm sort of doubling up there. Click the notification bell so you never miss another news update. We are on the road to 3,000 subscribers and 500,000 views. Let's get there as soon as possible, please, ladies and gentlemen. And for now, thrill seekers of all ages, let's get straight into this update from Thorpe Park Resort. Thorpe Park Resort, located in Surrey, England, is one of the UK's premier theme parks, known for its thrilling rides, immersive theming and adrenaline-packed experiences. Established in 1979 on a partially flooded gravel pit, Thorpe Park has transformed over the decades from a modest family attraction into the self-proclaimed nation's thrill capital, slowly becoming the island like no other that we know today. The park is home to an array of record-breaking roller coasters such as Stealth, Europe's fastest launch coaster, and the Swarm, the UK's first wing coaster. Other highlights include Saw the Ride, the world's first horror movie themed roller coaster, and Colossus, which held the world record for the most inversions on a roller coaster when it opened in 2002. As it continues to expand, Thorpe Park Resort aims to bring new experiences such as a permanent hotel and a redevelopment of the now closed Amity Beach area, further enhancing its position as the must-visit destination for thrill seekers in the UK and beyond. So let's get started with the Amity Beach development. So Amity Beach has long been a cherished part of Thorpe Park Resort's history, providing a splash of seaside charm and the park's thrilling lineup of rides and attractions. Its journey from a small water play area to a fully fledged beach-themed oasis has been marked by transformations, expansions and a nostalgic nod to the classic British seaside. Amity Beach remained a nostalgic memory for many guests, symbolising an era when Thorpe Park balanced thrills with family-friendly fun, and its legacy lives on as the resort prepares to usher in a new generation of entertainment on this iconic location. Thorpe Park Resort submitted plans for the redevelopment of the larger section of the Amity Beach site. This new addition, codenamed officially as Project Pivot, includes a new stage, which will be 148 square metres and will be placed on the far side of the area, close to the stairs to the depth charge attraction. This area will be surrounded by terrace seating along with benches and other seating. There will also be small kiosks and tech areas built around the area. If you want to find out more specific details in terms of actual statistics and other parts of the development, then go and check out the Attraction Source article, which will be linked in the description of the video. So then, Amity Beach is getting a development. It's not really been in action for a while now, Amity Beach, and we know now that they're going to replace it with Project Pivot, which is a brand new stage area in the larger section of Amity Beach, leaving the smaller side of Amity Beach untouched. I'm sure that will get redeveloped. It's like a phase 2 of Project Pivot if this goes ahead. Now, the plan, as we've said, is to introduce a permanent stage. So it means, I'd say it's just a prediction at this stage, so take it with a huge pinch of salt, but my early prediction is that the shows that were in front of Stealth at Fright Night, so the high school zombie style dance show with the characters from Thorpe High and all that kind of storyline, I'm guessing all of that will move towards the Project Pivot stage. I think that's my personal prediction anyway. So it means Stealth can receive some nice lighting for Fright Nights and maybe like a full setup to keep the Halloween theme going around Stealth. Maybe that's the idea going forward. But For me, I think all the Lycanthorpe High stuff or any future Fright Night shows that were going to be around about Stealth will now be around Project Pivot. I think that some other shows will be there as well. If you guys remember back in the day of the Thorpe Park Arena, of course that got replaced for it got closed at the end of 2014, along with the Chief Ranger Carousel, ready for the construction of Project Whitechapel, or WC16, or we now know as Darren Brown's Ghost Train, but we now know it just as Ghost Train. We remember the Thorpe Park Arena. I never got the chance to experience Thorpe Park Arena in person, but I've seen many clips of the kind of shows that used to be in there. Stunt Extreme show, the high diving shows in the past, the Popeye, Spider-Man was in there as well. You had some temporary Thorpe Park Fright Nights attractions in that arena, 7, Experiment 10, all these different types of Fright Nights attractions on a temporary basis in a tent inside the arena. And the Thorpe Park Arena was an iconic location for Thorpe Park, and I want to see more of those type of shows coming back. Use the front bit of the stage area if you need to as well. Create some kind of floor at the front if you need like a breakdance show or a dance show or a stunt show of some kind. I'd like to see something like that if it can be incorporated into that site. You can maybe use the bit at the back of Amity Beach that's not going to be touched by this development to start off with as a kind of like temporary changing area almost, or a temporary entrance area for the performers. That could be an idea to go around. That could be a potential idea as like an extra entrance for the performers or the stunt performers or the dancers, whatever. There's a chance to hold live concerts there as well. You remember Alton Towers Live back in the day when you had loads of different artists? There's an opportunity for Thorpe Park to have their own kind of summertime ball, but like Capital FM do in London. So you can have like a Thorpe Park concert, if you will, like a Thorpe Park Live. Bring in some big names. That'll get the crowds in. As long as you can maintain crowd control, then you've got an ideal location there for a live concert with big performers. So I think there's plenty of potential here with this development, and I think that Amity Beach is the best location because I think it's one of the locations within the resort that needed refurbishing the most going forward. So I think it's really important to get this spot on, and I really hope the plan gets approved, and I hope everything goes ahead with this because I think it's the right kind of development for Thorpe Park going forward in terms of long-term entertainment and performances as well. I do think Thorpe Park are onto a winner here. Hopefully, fingers crossed, keeping my fingers and my toes crossed, that the plans do get approved. Now, what about the second plan? And this is the big one that's been going on for years now, for a couple of decades at least, and that is the permanent hotel plans. And this builds on from the original Lakeside hotel plans from just a few years ago. Bear Architects, based in Bournemouth, announced on their website that they were requested to put forward a design proposal for a new hotel, which will feature 100 rooms and is anticipated to start construction once planning permission is granted. They are currently waiting for Thorpe Park Resort to refine the design, in quotations, before submitting the plans for their official approval. This hotel will be located behind the staff car park, which itself is behind the coach car park. So basically, as you exit the theme park across the main bridge, if you look over to your left-hand side, the hotel is planned to be located on that site. Thorpe Park Resort aren't building the hotel at this moment in time. However, this news clearly states that the development is in the early stages of discussions, and the resort are looking into the idea of this addition once again, which is very nice to see personally. Now, the future of the Thorpe Shark cabins, once the hotel opened, isn't completely clear at this stage. It's a very early stage of the development. However, at this moment in time, we expect, personally, the cabins to stay as a potential alternative option to the Lakeside Hotel once the planned opening date arrives. But this situation could change depending on what the park plans to do with the cabins going forward. Now, the concept designs are considered early visuals and may not be the final design on colour scheme for the hotel. This artwork, according to Thorpe Park Mania's article, suggests they were more designed for internal use, so keep an eye on that development. A hotel on site encourages guests to extend their visits, turning what might have been a day trip into a multi-day stay. This allows guests to experience the park at a more leisurely pace, potentially exploring all the attractions without rushing, which can improve overall satisfaction and lead to higher spending on food, beverages, and merchandise. A hotel would enable the park to host conferences and private events and weddings and other gatherings, broadening its revenue opportunities and drawing visitors who might not typically come just for the theme park. These event offerings could bring in guests which later explore the park, as well as driving additional attendance and revenue overall. So then, a permanent hotel is in the works once again for the resort. And again, I think this is a positive move for the park. I think that bringing in a permanent hotel would be the right move for the park. I think it's much needed. From the looks of the Thorpe Park cabins, yes, I'm yet to go inside the cabins, but from the looks of the Thorpe Park cabins, I do rate them to an extent. I do think they are good accommodation. I do think they are good, unique accommodation. Entering through the Big Shark and staying in these shipping containers, these snooze box cabins, and of course they brought in the new Hyperia rooms this past year, so I wouldn't expect the cabins to go anywhere long term. I think that if you bring in a Hyperia room, there's no way you're getting rid of it long term. So for me, I think they're going to stay regardless, at least for the first few years after opening this new Lakeside development. But it's clear from this development and from this news update that they're talking about it, they're discussing the fact of a permanent hotel again. It looks like from the early visuals, like I said, take it with a pinch of salt with the early visuals. It could be internal use. The plans could look entirely different in terms of the design and the look and the architecture of the hotel. But in terms of the size of the hotel and the kind of length and size they're going for, you'd say it's roughly that size and roughly that height, maybe in terms of the building size. These are just internal use designs. However, a lot of people have come out and said, it looks very leisurely, it doesn't look themed to the resort, it looks very corporate. I actually don't mind that because I think it gives a new modern chic look to the hotel. And it kind of reminds me of the Boulevard Hotel at Pleasure Beach Resort in some regards. But it also looks like a hotel you'd find outside of a train station, like a 5-star hotel outside of a train station. But that gives you the proper London vibes, which gives Thorpe Park London vibes. And for me, and you know me, I'm trying to see the positives in anything. But for me, yes, I think the designs could be more designed close to the resort values rather than London values. However, I do get the modern, leisurely design they went for in potential internal early visuals for internal use. So I get it from both sides. I get the opinion of both sides, and I'll play it straight down the middle as I always do. There's positives, there's things that could work on with the designs to make the final design they submit to the council. So for me, I think that there's some good positives with this one. There's some things to work on with this one, but I think having the early discussions of a permanent hotel again for Thorpe Park is brilliant. We've had a lot of history around this, plans going back 2 decades to initially bring in a permanent hotel. We had the crash pad in 2013 that turned to Thorpe Park Cabins or Thorpe Park Hotel, then Thorpe Park Cabins, and now we've had these plans for years for a Lakeside hotel, and now they're being revisited, and it's so good to see that happening. The island like no other is definitely bringing some much needed glam to the resort with these 2 new developments, Project Pivot and the Lakeside Hotel. And here on Child Chats, we're going to keep you up to date with all the latest from the resort. Stay tuned for further updates. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching this theme park news update. I am the CHALL. Ta-ra for now, and that is the end of your theme park experience. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below.